I don't understand that. Hi, everybody, if you're watching this. Why only audio? Interesting. Well, that's not going to work for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Although there is video on YouTube. I see the video on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool.
Interesting. Why is that?
So it's just in Riverside?
Yeah, why would Riverside do that? Hi, everybody. If you're watching this, you get to see the behind the scenes of
figuring it out.
Figuring it out, going live for the first time. That's never happened to me before. And it doesn't say why. Okay. Well, I can see on YouTube, it looks like it's live. So should I check YouTube like as a user? Let's check as a user. So everybody that's watching, if you ever want to do any of this, we are using a third-party system. So I chose Riverside.fm because I've used Riverside for so long. But you can also use a source like StreamYard, Ecamm. You can free as a OBS studio, but that's like a whole thing. And I'm just not smart enough for that, just being honest. Because you have to create it on your end. So yeah, let's see. Let's go to my channel.
So why do you use StreamYard? Because I haven't.
I don't use StreamYard. I use Riverside.fm.
Riverside, yes.
And I may not be. If this keeps happening, we may not be using Riverside anymore.
It keeps happening, so it's happened before that.
Riverside anymore. All right, see us. We're live. Look at us, how cute we are. All right, good. So we know that's happening. Next time, I'm going to try to also incorporate Twitch and maybe Facebook. But it was too many things to have to think about today.
Yeah, a lot. And I don't even know what Twitch is.
Don't worry about it. I got you. We'll be the oldest people on. Oh, but that's okay. We love that.
That's right.
It initially was for gamers live streaming, but they have like a lifestyle niche where it's, just people showing you.
Interesting. Okay.
Their lives. All right, let's do a clean intro, everybody. Did you drink your water?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Welcome to It's Only Because I Love You. It's the podcast where tough love meets honest truth. It's hosted by me, producer Rachel, and transformational coach Stephana Johnson. Do you refer to yourself as transformational coach? This is what ChatGPT wrote for us. What do you refer to yourself as?
Yeah, I would say I'm a master guide for to get into your innate and natural intelligence and get your power back on.
We love that.
Yeah.
I will fix that later. We have to shorten that. What is it? What did you say it was?
What did I just say?
Yeah. What guide? What is it?
Yeah, a master guide. I've been doing
master guide. Okay, so
we will coach anymore. I'm a master guide and love to support folks.
I love that. Master guide. We're gonna let ChatGPT know that that's what you are now.
Oh,
I'm sending that to myself for next time. Good. All right, take two, everybody. Welcome to It's Only Because I Love You. It is the podcast where tough love meets honest truth. It's hosted by me, producer Rachel, and master guide Stephana Johnson. We dive into the raw, unfiltered conversations everyone needs to hear, but no one dares to say. From personal growth to business strategies, we tackle the hard truths that hold people and businesses back. Always coming from a place of deep care and desire to see others thrive. Whether you're an entrepreneur seeking clarity or someone ready to face what's really blocking your success, this live stream podcast is your wake-up call. We don't sugarcoat, we don't hold back, and it's only because we love you. That's pretty good, ChatGPT.
That's pretty good.
Good job, buddy. Yeah. Do you like that or did you hate that?
No, that's great. I love it. Yes, I'm Chatty is very useful. Very useful.
You call him Chatty? I think we should just call him Chat Daddy, maybe. Chat Daddy. Take a step back. Take a step back. Did you take a step forward? Take a step back again. There you go. There we go. So the idea behind it was for people to bring us questions, but because we just started doing this, people aren't going to bring us questions. So I tasked you with sort of bringing some pain points to the table. Do we want to just chat first and the show open, and then get into a question? Definitely. Where do you feel called to go?
I think the first thing, because I saw something and a little bit of this where folks were asking in groups because of the fires in LA and the trauma that's going on. And there's serious depths of trauma. And some of the more conscientious business owners are thinking, maybe I should cancel my start of my program because there's so much going on.
And people are. I mean, I saw like we're canceling this with launch. We're not doing it right now.
Right, exactly. And I think that's one, it's wonderful that they're questioning it, but that shouldn't even be a question in anyone's mind. Someone that's truly connected to their heart and their mind and their actions are in alignment, we would just absolutely know that it's not appropriate. And especially if you're local in LA, you're in an emergency situation, you are focused on that. And anyone who has a connection to anyone in the fires or in Los Angeles and I'm saying I have my own experience of this. My son was born in Los Angeles. We have dear friends, and I've opened my home. But that's beside the point. I don't need to say all that. What I do want to say is that we have to honor the trauma and not try to fix it right now for those that are experiencing the trauma, because there's no way to make it better right now. We have to make sure, because this is survival mode. It's literally survival right now. And so I think that's an important topic to understand as a business owner and someone if someone's connected as a business owner or anywhere around that. Now, if they're in another country or even in another state, there are other things going on that are still problems and issues. It's kind of like going and giving billions and billions of dollars to another country while literally your own backyard is burning to the ground. This doesn't make sense. It's illogical. So I think we have to be more we have to be present with what's really true within ourselves, and all of us can have empathy for what's happening. We don't have to have a degree of separation or multiple degrees. So I think that's key. The second thing I wanted to say, but let me just see how that landed for you.
Okay, so remember the second thing you're going to say, because how that landed is, for a while, I stopped posting because I wanted to give space for the fires. I just didn't feel compelled to. And then this morning I did a tapping session, and it was sort of like, as a business owner and content creator, I need to take this Q1, right? This time now, it's almost like it's giving us a pause to sort of...
What's giving you a pause?
The fires, right? Does that make sense? Like, so this is happening energetically. I think a lot of us wanted to go gung-ho in 2025. I know I did in Q1. And the fires are allowing me to pause, look at my systems and my foundation, and really think, is this the way that I want to go? It's giving me that time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And so I feel... I'm empathetic to what's happening. I want my feed to allow for donations and what they need. The fires are still going on. They may not be contained for a while. And so I sort of looked at it as like the universe energetically letting just me, however anybody else interprets it, that's fine, to sort of pause on what I thought I wanted to launch and go forth with, if that makes sense. And so I'm just allowing myself that time. I have family there as well. And so it's just like, I just don't feel compelled to post the happy stuff or post the funny stuff right now. And maybe that will change next week. It might change tomorrow. But yeah, I don't feel like it's the right time.
Yeah. Interesting. I hear you on that. And I think each of us have to have do the inner work to see what's really going and how we're impacted. The two things I will say on that is that if you are, and this is rhetorically speaking, not just you, Rachel, but if you are a content creator that is known and it is your intention to put out something that is funny and lighthearted, or to call out the truth on something, and maybe you put a lightheartedness, or you may make it funny or something that's a little bit more digestible, but you still call out the truth, I think you should continue. I think you should absolutely, and make it relevant. This is a time to create relevant content. Those that, the conspiracy around it, but conspiracy is a brilliant word. It is connecting with spirit. So those that are congruent, this is the time where you can call out what's going on. And I know for myself, just energetically in the work that I do, I have put on those that intended harm on notice, that their souls are now captured, and their souls are owned until they make restitution completely.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot of stuff on that. But those that are out there creating content on that, creating content that actually opens eyes, that wakes people up, that inspires, that allows for you to have a moment of reprieve, I think it's valuable. So I wouldn't just completely stop. I'm not saying that specifically for you, Rachel, because you and also that you're impacted, but that was rhetorically speaking for anyone who is a content creator. And then, like you said, tying into all of the content, or any proceeds go directly to specifically a family. I wouldn't go specifically to an organization at this point. We don't know with organizations. There's too many that can, there's money grabs that go on. Don't like that at all. I saw that when my parents' house burned down and my father was killed in the fire.
That's awful.
There's a lot of money grabs. It's a lot of ill-intentioned out there. And I would say we need to hold the light still, so that hold it still and strong, and stay strong in our will to get to the source of this. The fires are still going. It makes no sense, especially when there's unlimited water within,
right.
None of it makes sense. And I would love for those content creators who have the knowledge and the wherewithal to actually highlight and really put out something, because we need more true media. We need true media who are on, boots on the ground, saying like it is. This is what's going on. We know the smart meters. It's like literally they're filming the smart meter that just went up one after the other, and then the insurance had canceled they literally canceled.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, what? I know. So we do need content creators who are doing the work and do it with,
well, the truth, right? We want the truth. I also think conversely, I spoke to somebody who is an Instagram growth coach, and he was like 99%. He's like, I'm from California, so I feel you. I have family there, but 99% of my audience is not in California. And the value I give to my audience with what I'm showing them how to grow their businesses is more important to me than just stopping what I'm doing. So again, he literally just said, whatever you feel called to. So that's what I feel called to do right now. You can keep posting about your business and your funny memes and all that stuff. Like, people can keep doing that. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm telling you, listen to your gut, listen to your higher self, and whatever you feel like is the action you are most aligned to take, do it. That's fine. Pausing that. Do you have a microphone that you can use? Because when you step back, I can't hear you as much. So what do we do to solve that problem?
If I plug this in, I think I will lose my video. So
okay. So next time, you have to find one of those converters where you can plug the mic in and the video camera in. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yep.
Thank you. So stay closer to the mic, because I don't want you to. I can raise your audio a little bit, but I don't want you to be that far away.
Okay, cool.
Yay, everybody. Okay, so pausing that conversation.
Yeah.
Moving on. Is there anything else that's top of mind for you right now before we get into anything specific?
So just doing this project, you and I think this was, you and I are creators. We like to, and look, I'm not putting myself in your end. I like to start things. Oh, it's fun. I love to start things. Sometimes I don't think things all the way through to the end. And I get lost in what I already see. Oh, how cool this is, but I haven't done the details, or I miss out on the details, and I move on to the next thing because I get I get hung up on the details. I don't want to deal with that. And I think, so the reason I'm bringing this up is because, we had the conversation, a month or two ago?
Yeah. A private conversation. We weren't recording it. It wasn't live. It wasn't for anything.
And it was a beautiful connection between the two of us. And I did say, I truly am saying this because I love you. And then it sparked the pieces. But I think sometimes ideas don't have to be taken in and made into something. And I'm just wondering if you actually need to be doing one more project. You know what I mean?
I understand that. But I feel like because I know, I get it. Trust me, that is not lost on me. But I feel like that's why we created it every other week once. Like, so it's twice a month. It's probably 45 minutes and quick and easy. And I feel like of anything that I'm doing, this could be the most important. We don't know until we do it. Like, let's see how it folds into our lives. If it does become the one too many things on like the pile that makes the pile fall over or the dominoes fall, then we'll have that conversation. Okay. Is that my higher self telling you she's doing too many things, Stephana?
when you opened with, I didn't get the sleep I needed, and then I missed out something.
No, you interpreted that. I didn't. I stayed up late to create a graphic. I did sleep.
I understand this. I want to make sure you don't have extra work because I'm just showing up.
And that's all I want from you.
Like, what? So
but it's we needed a cute little graphic.
Yeah. But
we'll make it fun
to me that you are caring for yourself and that you are doing actions that are aligned with where you want to go, what's important to you, and that's really key. I want to make sure that that's in harmony. And yes, this is important. I mean, yes, this is important, but again, I don't look at all the other pieces. See, I skip the details. So I don't do all the other nice things. That's why my son says, why are you doing stop doing any videos. It's terrible. You don't have anything in place. I'm like, I'm just going to show up and say something that I have to say. And sometimes it doesn't land. And I can make excuses as to why I don't have a big audience. But I do know that when I speak from this place that's in alignment, inevitably it hits on even one person, and that one person needed to hear it. That is okay with me, right? Not only okay with me, it is, I know that that's my mission, right? It is to impact that one life today in this moment.
Well, and it solves a problem for both of us where in 45 minutes of our time together, I can get probably 20 different clips out of this, which is a month's worth of content for you. Does that make sense? And folds into the content that I'm already doing. So it solves a quick problem. I'm going to outsource the edits to an editor. Like, I feel like we can make it work and it will help me create the system that I need for like more content creation, because you can't grow. I mean, more content for you is hard. You actually have clients that you see on a daily basis.
Yeah. Let's unpack this a little bit further. And just for anyone listening to this, when you're thinking of creating another project, be really mindful that that the solution you are coming up with does not become your next problem. I see this a lot. Okay.
Talk about that. Yes.
And it's really important to take the time to evaluate. I mean, it's one of the reasons I'm always going back to what is it that you truly care about, which are your values, your principles, right? It's interesting. I was on a board meeting yesterday and there was a confusion between the word principle and value. And it's like these seemingly simple words. It's just like, what do you care about? Do you understand that concept? Because you can say, I value this and I have this principle, I follow these principles, but the actions you're taking are completely incongruent. That tells me you do not care about those values, that you're saying them, but you are not it's incongruent. And that incongruency is what sabotages you as a business owner. It sabotages you as in your relationships and in your energy. It's like for someone who wants to lose weight, and yet their actions are, it's like, I value health, and yet their actions are completely incongruent. That is the problem. That is the disconnect. And it's as simple as that. It is that simple. And it gets made complicated. And then we have to go and have a zillion different coaches for this type of this. And it's like, no, just clean your house, internal house, do the internal work. That's why I say, I'm not, I've been doing coaching and therapizing and all of this for 30 plus years. It's like, nope, I'm just a guide now, because you do know somewhere and you've just been disconnected from it. I just want you to sync back up and get your power back on, right? Tap back into, so you're firing on all cylinders. What are those cylinders? It's your own thoughts and beliefs. We've got, we're over here asking and just fragmented. You can't fully function with full power on if you are fragmented mentally, emotionally, physically, and so I think that there's a piece of this where there is an outside, we'll just call them demons, okay? Gremlins, dragons, whatever, that try to glom onto that chaos. And if you can get still and quiet and calm and reconnect, that's why I said last time, I think we talked, go take a walk, unplugged, and be present. Find that connection, reconnect to your physical body, your breath, your space, your just reconnect. And sometimes I have to do that 2 and 3 times a day, because there's that, oh my gosh, and I'm worried that my mother, and there's that is not going to help you. It's not going to help your business. And to use that as a justification for you not being whole and intact to show up to your work and your energy and your relationships fully on, it is unacceptable. We don't have time for that anymore. The things are moving too fast. And the consciousness that you are coming from, if it is splattered and fragmented, it's not going to be effective. And done.
So let's talk about that for a second, because that means, because I'm a mom, I'm a creator with ADHD. And so it's always a shiny new object, right? It's always like oh wait, I'm going to put my eggs in this basket too. And we have all the baskets. It really comes down to, like you said, look at what it is. Can I fit it in? Right? And then if not, I have to be able to say no to myself. I have to say, no, that's not what I want to focus on right now, right? That's not a part of the values that I created for 2025, or part of the goals that I created for 2025. Sometimes we have to say no to ourselves. And as hard as that is,
you are saying yes to yourself. This is really important to get. You're focusing on the no when you need to be focusing on the hell yes. Mm-hmm. I want to take this back to something, and you say it a lot, my friend, and I love you. I love you. And I'm saying this because I love you. You are repeating someone else's meme. Okay? Clearly it's serving you. Clearly you're making a platform on it, but it is not you. So just be clear about that. Okay? Be aware of that. When we come from a place of, your consciousness, right? You are energy, you are a consciousness, and within in itself, it's ultimately neutral, and you get to create. So it's going to create from the inside out. But if you keep repeating this meme that is not you, it's like a virus that's taken hold, and it's ineffective for you, right? You don't need that. You are bigger than that. You can break out of that construct that you've decided to take on. And I don't think it serves you. I think you are far bigger than this identity that you continue to say. And I'm not going to repeat it because I don't believe it. I don't agree with it for you. I see you as much bigger, much more magnificent than that. So I will leave it at that. That's all I say.
We'll have to explore that personally one day because that's deep. Like, what meme am I copying? What are you talking about? Oh my God. Okay. So, I mean, it's the place that I'm at. And to me, it's showing how I'm still doing the thing. And you can change it from saying no to one thing and focus on saying yes to the other things. That's fine regardless. But I had an ADHD coach. They called it focus on your darlings, or like, no, kill your darlings, because you want to do all the things, but there's not enough time in the day. So you have to micro focus on the thing that you really want to accomplish. And so it has helped saying no, killing off darlings, and saying yes to the three main things that I want to accomplish in this year is definitely helpful. Does it suck to have to realize I can't do everything? I can't be all things to everyone all at once. Yeah, it sucks. But
yeah,
I have to love myself and be able to say, these are the things that I want to accomplish. And in order to do that, I have to only say yes to these things, which means I'm going to have to say no to other things.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share with you that when I was in high school, I took aviation, and if you got an A, you were able to get a free instructor training. And so this was it was so exciting. When I'll use the pilot analogy because I think it will make sense to you that even when you take any trip, you can only go on one airplane at a time. Okay. So that pilot can only fly one airplane to one destination at a time. You see?
Yes.
And that was a concept that was hard for me because I did lots of other things. But the fact of the matter is you have to be so present to what you are doing and where you are going, or you will crash and burn, or you will not get there. It's the same with riding a motorcycle. So in Los Angeles, that's how I got around, is on my motorcycle.
That is, oh my God. I can absolutely picture that. That is incredible.
Yeah. And it was the best meditation. It was the best meditation. The moment I was near that motorcycle, I was fully present. And I think I'm not saying use the motorcycle to become present in your life, just become present in your life.
Yes.
And then be intentional, right? And then let everything else go and observe what's going on and use the right tool at the right time. That is my analogy, the pilot your way method. That's analogy and an acronym. You've got to pilot your own way, and you can only go one place at a time. I cannot go back over there on my bike, right? You cannot. So it's a hard one to get around when there's so many things to create, but that's the false idea that I think holds us back from actually achieving what we want to achieve, or getting to the destination we want to get to, whole, intact, right?
When you're guiding CEOs and business owners, and they start to sort of fragment that energy, how do you get them back on track? Or is it really just a specific program for each of them? So you can't really give a generic, this is what I would do if you're going through this right now, where you're fragmenting your energy and you're saying yes to everything, but it means that you can't accomplish them all in the way that you had seemed, because you can't be on all the planes at once.
Right, exactly. So first thing, someone who has achieved a certain level has done some things right. So
I don't know. I've met some people that have failed their way to bonuses, and I don't know. It's crazy, especially in the entertainment world. I've seen people fail up. That's what they call it, right? Failing up.
Yes, but that they actually are there. There is something that's going in a certain direction. There is a trajectory. Okay. So I'm always going to reinforce what is going well. And then it's like, as a pilot, I have to take inventory as to where I am, what's going on. I have to look at all the gauges and still stay the observer, not freak out. Oh my God, look at that. Because I have to come up with solutions. So, I mean, ultimately you want to stay alive, right? So that's a bigger concept there. But if you know that you want to take a business from 5 million to $1 billion business, well, there are certain things that you've done right. And there are probably some things that if that's what you truly want, is to be in that $1 billion area, well, what are the things that you're doing that need to be let go of so that you can get there? Because most of it is interference. Anyway, going back to the basics, because I think that that's what you really wanted to know. Because I am working with the individual leader, with the actual man or woman, they are, so the person, not the organization, because the person who's creating the organization or doing the creating, right? I'm working with them because oftentimes they're the ones that get off the rails. They're the ones that get into a situation. We'll talk about the entertainment industry. I'll tell you, those that get manipulated and get, there's a lot of sickness and sabotage in there. And definitely there's, I mean, you name it, from sexual trafficking, drugs, whatever. And then they're controlled by controllers, but those controllers are controlled by controllers on top. Immediately I put on notice, like, it's ultimately the only way out is 100% truth and feeling everything. So that's the deeper work that I have to do, that so many don't want to do, because it's really uncomfortable. But I was in the trenches with folks and doing the deeper work. And the only way out is confronting the truth and fully feeling everything. See, when I say feeling everything, because your intuition are your feelings. And when the intuition has been dissected and disconnected from your thoughts and it's off, you don't make intelligent decisions, you don't make clear decisions, you don't make the right decisions. And we see this rampant in the world, where people just do bad things, wrong, bad, stupid, evil, right? And then you see the juxtaposition of those that do the good things, that do the good work. And it comes down to that, right? Ultimately, you have to tell the truth. And most people can't even look at themselves in the mirror and tell themselves the truth.
Well, it took me years to get to that point, because I was always blaming everybody else. I would be like, oh, you set the fire. Like, why are you blaming me for reacting or overreacting or getting mad? You were the one that set the fire. It's like, no, I don't have to react that way. I'm just hurting myself.
Right.
I was always in fight or flight. And it took me a while to be like, no, I actually have control over how I react. And I chose to react negatively. That's on me. And I tell my kids all the time, you can choose to feed the good wolf or you can choose to feed the bad wolf, right? And we all have choices. But when you can get into that aligned space and do the work that Stephana's talking about, God, it's so much easier to sort of boom, 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 make those choices, because it's just, you're not even thinking about it that deep anymore, right? Should I do this or this? No, you're just immediately going to start doing those happily aligned choices that bring you joy. But you have to do the work to get there. I mean, it took me years to get to this space. And connect to that voice. And I think that people just don't understand that. And that's why you need a guide like Stephana to sort of help you level up, especially if you're talking about a huge corporation or businesses where you want to make millions to billions, right? Like, that is a mindset. It is not just an ABC. Here's the guidebook. And so I value what you do for people, because we can't really do this life thing alone all the time. And then a lot of us don't want to hear the truth, but somebody like you, I don't know, holding my hand or holding someone else's hand and saying like, okay, It's only because I love you that I'm telling you this and hurting your feelings right now. But we can also get through that pain together. And I love that. I love that so much. So you were going to, do you have a pain point from a client or something that's going on right now that you want to address and answer the question of, as if somebody emailed us a question?
I'll address some of the basics. So let's just look at sleep. Because I'll start. I will always do kind of a triage. What are their daily habits? What does their self-care look like? And one of those fundamental pieces of self-care is sleep, right? And so if you know that you function better with good sleep, right? And so one of the questions was, okay, well, I need help with my sleep. I'll always ask my clients, what's one celebration or what's the happiest since I last saw you? And I always get that because that's important. We need to train our brains to do that, to look for a celebration when we're also going to ask for what's the challenge, what's, I don't want to say going wrong, but what's the challenge? What's the breakthrough we want to have, right? So when I ask that, it seems to be the theme this week. It's sleep, right? So sleep is one of those key pieces. And it's interesting because Saturday, I was playing by the fire with my son and we were having discussions, and he fell asleep by the fire. And it was about 5:30 in the afternoon, and it gets dark here. So it was dark. I was like, okay. So I said, I want to just like, you probably need some rest. Let's go to sleep. Well, so he went to bed, and I said, I'll wake you up if you feel like you want to have dinner. But I noticed, so he slept for almost 13, 14 hours. And I decided to just skip dinner and go ahead and go to bed. And I slept for 12 hours. So I thought, that's really interesting. That's not usual for me. And I know that my stress level has been high because of definitely the fires, no question, and caring for people, and then also other stuff, right? Just life. Okay. The thing that we have to give ourselves permission is to take those 12 hours if we need them. And what I see as the hindrance for that sleep is the mind chatter constantly going on. So this is really important that you give yourself a transition time. I don't think anyone can go from being in an intense meeting or scrolling or watching a movie that's intense, it's in your energy or any of that, and then just go straight to sleep. Some, but they usually are numbing themselves out with something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to be good sleep. We know that the sleep before midnight, so much more important. There's so much science on this that the brain is actually washing and cleaning out the system. And then we also know that sleep before midnight allows for the hormones to rebalance. And hormones specifically are the serotonin, especially if your cortisol is super high because of the stress. That eats up that eats your serotonin right up, right? So we need that. And then knowing that during deep, good sleep, not drugged sleep, but the natural process of the body where the melatonin is and the hormones are balancing, the actual short-term memory is taken up to the long-term memory banks, and they are then set in place with they wire together, right? So whatever your thoughts are, they'll go and wire. There's a part of the brain that's just going to go and put this in that bucket, and then this bucket, and this bucket, and so it's grooving more deeper into that. And so sleep, I would say, is probably the number one, and definitely this week even. Usually my clients have mostly optimized it, but it's coming up again. And I think we all feel in the conscious collective this high level of stress, and sleep is such a valuable solution. So I would give yourself permission to put it all away and get the deep sleep. All of our children need that. There should be no digital devices in their rooms. And so that they can fully just the processing that has to go on, the brain cleaning, all of this. It's so important. So important.
My son listens to a meditation at night. Is that okay? Like, I take the devices out early now because I did change that. And now to help him sleep, he listens to a meditation on YouTube. Is that okay? Like, can we do that while we're sleeping? Will that make connections in our brain? Or do you think nothing at all?
So it's not a
one size fits all answer.
It's not. And here's the
Okay.
thing, because you're telling me, okay, we've done this and you're on a process. It sounds to me like you're on a process. I would say, well, do what's working, because if you're optimizing his sleep, but ultimately at some point, it's best that there is nothing, especially not that frequency, and especially what we know with electromagnetic frequencies and that wavelength, they just don't need it. That precious brain is healing and developing. I would definitely do more of ensuring that their nutrients are in, ensuring that they're getting good proteins during the day so that their body can build the serotonin at night, getting good fats. You know, I would have them eat an avocado and kiwis every day. and so that will help restore the DNA, restore the brain, and then also be hydrated with pure water. And then build that in. So if they're really struggling, I'm curious as to what that is. Is it because they had a habit of having the sound going? They had the habit of something playing? And if that's the case, you know, I would
He has relied mostly on that. His whole thing is, I can't sleep without it. I can't sleep without it. Well, I'm like, well, that's a belief you've created now. So we have to figure out how to get out of that. I asked my EFT tapping practitioner to come up with a nighttime tapping regimen for him. We're going to create a video, and then I'll let some music play after. I'm not going to play it on the TV. I'll play it on a device, on a Bluetooth speaker in his room, and I'll stop the device when it's over. Does that make sense? So he's not touching anything or has no devices in his room. And so we're going to work on that too, because I do think if he taps in a little bit to like relax his body and his mind, I think he'll be okay. I only noticed it because he started to listen to Bible verses, and I was like, we're not going to listen to Bible verses. So I found this guru that I like, and I said, you can listen to his meditation. I was like, let's listen to that. And that's what he's been listening to. But I think, again, he's just created a belief for himself that he has to have this to go to sleep. And so I've allowed it to continue because it relaxes him. But I think that we have to flip-flop that strategy a little bit. And he may not be able to sleep immediately the first night, but I know he'll get into a good sleep schedule eventually.
Yeah, for sure. And there's other tools. I'd put lavender on the feed. I would create a transition time where there is just a natural ritual, and then you'll have to bring that into your everyday life. That is like, this is the consistent sleep schedule, sleep hygiene and harmony around sleep, and it being a safe and nourishing experience is so vital. I'm surprised that it's not actually like that. I remember having significant issues. My boys, when they were born, they would sleep in my bed. It was much easier nursing that way. And so I just remember those first few years of being so sleep deprived. And there's just no way any of us can function or be our best to do that. And yeah, I'll say no more on that, because that's a whole other topic.
We can get into that next time. All right. So for people that want to reach out to you, number one, I think don't you have a morning guide and a bedtime guide? Send me those links and I can update this on YouTube, and I'll put it in the description. And then if people feel compelled, they're like, you know what? I love what Stephana's saying. I love where she's coming from. I love her energy. And they want to contact you, just to at least have that initial conversation to see if you'd be perfect for one-on-one consultations. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I would just go to stephanajohnson.com, and I offer a 15-minute performance accelerated complimentary. If it's, if you feel like that's something that you definitely want one-on-one help. I'm really shifting in my own work now. I have my group program, and that opens 3 times a year. And then the clients that I take on now, I'm decided that I'm at 6 months minimum, because the transformation is not going to happen in one session. I'm not going to do one session anymore. And so it's 6 months or 12 plus months when I'm working with clients. So just keep that in mind. I think that's important to know. Yeah.
I think that's incredible. Thank you so much for doing this. It's only because we love you that we're telling you all the truth. And apparently it starts with sleep. That is what we learned today. It starts with sleep. It seems such a simple solution, but I think so many of us are just addicted to our devices, and we're falling asleep, laying in bed next to our spouse, laughing at funny videos, and we're not getting deep sleep. Yeah, and so your day starts out. I mean, our next day starts the night before, you told me, right?
That's right. Yep.
So send me those links. We'll include all the links in this so you guys can at least get started. Step 1, get good sleep. And she has a whole layout for that night, for the night and the morning. It seems so simple, but none of us are doing it. We just aren't. And so we love you so much.
You're worth it to create boundaries around that and create a ritual that's just nourishing. Yeah.
Right. And we have to start somewhere, right? So if people are like, well, what's the first step? Get good sleep. Start there. Optimize your sleep. Yep. Let's start there. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm so excited. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We're going to do it every other week, and we'll see. Will the dominoes fall, and will it be the one thing that's too many things for both of us? Or can we incorporate it and just realize showing up for ourselves and for other people is actually helping? Who knows? We don't know until we try, right?
That's right.
All right. If you guys do have questions that you want us to answer, or even Stephana just to answer, because she's amazing at what she does, you can email me right now, producerrachel@gmail.com, or you can leave comments under the video. And I will scrub through all of them and make sure that we address them in each episode as we go. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for showing up. I love you so much. You have no idea. Are you hugging me? Is that a virtual hug? All right, stay right there. I'm stopping it here. Let me just make sure it's stopping over here. Which I think it will end on its own, but oh, wait. I'm just going to let it sit for a second because it's always behind. So we'll figure that out. Yours is uploaded, mine is uploaded, but I think that's just because it's audio. But the YouTube will have the video in theory if I save this accurately, and we'll just go from there.
Cool. Are you on a laptop?
Yes, I'm on a laptop, but I'm using my phone.